You want to put this on? No, 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 no. Put, go. Okay, so I'm here with my kids at the local gym, their pool. It's a little noisy in here, but we're gonna try to do a little testing of the HERO8. This is in the silicone case here, but looking at the flotation of the HERO8 Floaty, plus also looking at it with the protective housing and the floaty on the back, and to see what flotation we get out of it, how protected your camera is. Now naturally, if we use something like the handler, it's going to have its own flotation, so you're not going to have to worry about losing your camera that way. But what if you're using something like the three-way, or maybe a third party like the Smatree here, or even something as big and heavy as the El Grande? I seriously doubt that it's going to float the El Grande, but we'll see. And then I also brought like this cheap little extra floaty, which works by putting it on your hand. It's a little wrist floaty, and it's got a little snap on it, and so that's another option that you might want to try. Plus, right now we're recording with the GoPro Max, and I'm going to also try it out around the water, in the water. I'm going to put the protective lenses on, even though it says not to use it around water. I figure worst case scenario, we'll get some water inside these, and then we'll just take them off. And the lenses will be no worse for the wear, because that's how they would have gotten wet in the first place. So anyway, let's go try it out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put the HERO8 inside the GoPro Floaty. So the first thing you want to do is you need to extend the fingers out on the bottom of the camera. Then we put the camera in from the front. So you're going to put it in at an angle and just get these fingers sticking right through the bottom here. Then we're going to push it in. We're going to go one side at a time. So we're going to push, I believe it's actually supposed to be the lens side first, but pop one side in, maybe it is this side, and then we're going to push second side in, and now we're all set, and the camera is in there. I hit the record button, but anyway, we're all set to go. Button right here on the top for the shutter, and then you have the button here on the side for the mode button, and then you have this little hook right here, and that's so that you can add a safety tether or even a lanyard to it if you needed to. Now, one important thing to do before we get into the water, I'm going to turn the camera back on, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to swipe down, and I'm going to hit this top right button, and that's going to screen lock. And that screen lock is going to help, because when we start touching on the back of the camera, what we don't want to happen is for the camera to take these touches from the water and interpret them as my finger touches, and so we want to have that screen lock on there so we don't have any issues. Alright, so let's go jump in the water and we'll see how this works. Okay, so for the first test, we are going to just throw in the HERO8 with the floaty. One thing I don't like about these protective lenses, they get a lot of lint on them, but anyway. Hey buddy, ready? 1, 2, 3, woof! Oh, it floats! Yay! All right, yeah, Danny's getting it. Yeah. All right. Okay, now.
Oh my God!
Oh. Okay, so part 2, we're now gonna try the floaty. Danny, you're gonna grab this if it sinks, and we're gonna do the HERO8 plus floaty and a three-way. So here we go. Ready, Danny? And hey, it floats.
It floats.
All right, let it float. All right, cool. So we do have floating of the floaty with the three-way. But the question is, what happens if this fills up with water? Will it still float?
I hope not.
Why do you hope not? Alright, so first we're gonna fill it with water and put this in there. And oh, it's not gonna float. Okay, so go ahead and grab it, Danny. So the answer is no, it does not float. Because once that air chamber in there fills up with water, and it is not waterproof, it will sink. Okay, so now we are gonna try with the Smatree tripod, and after seeing the three-way sink, I'm really doubting that this thing is going to float at all. So let's give it a shot.
Me too.
Okay.
I really doubt it too.
Okay, so here we go. We're gonna just torpedo it down and whoop. And yep, straight to the bottom it went. Because this went down, I'm sure that the much heavier El Grande is not going to work. So we're not even gonna test it with the El Grande. It's pretty pointless.
No, let's just do it.
We're gonna now move over to the floaty with the protective housing and give some tries with that.
I think it will float because it has a wider.
Well, this will float with the protective housing. So now we have the GoPro with the protective housing, and so we're gonna just throw this into the water. And of course that works. That's not a problem.
Yep.
Even though we're getting water drops on the lens, wipe those off. Okay.
But I think it will work better than the other one that we use because it has a wider of a floaty.
We'll see. Okay, so now we're going to try it on the three-way. Okay, so now we're going to try with the protective housing with the floaty and the three-way. So we're just going to throw that one in. And it is floating, so that's a good thing. But once again, we're going to have to see what happens if this little tripod area fills up. Okay, so we're gonna fill this up with water. I'm gonna put the tripod on it. And here we go. Is it gonna float? Is it gonna come back up?
It's better than last time.
So it still sinks, but just not as fast, but it's still at the bottom. Can you go get it, Danny?
Better than the last one.
Yeah, can you go get it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so now we're just gonna use just the HERO8 on the handler. We know it floats, but it's got the bite mount on there. So let's go ahead and throw that in there. And sure enough, it floats. What's nice about the handler is that you get this poking straight up, so it's a little easier to find
And get it
in the
up.
water. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're gonna put the protective housing with floaty onto our little Smatree selfie stick. And ready, 3, 2, 1, and there it goes. Didn't really think that one was gonna work, did you?
Actually, I did not know what we were gonna do.
Okay, go get it. Okay, this is the Max with the protective lenses on.
Okay, this what?
You can hear me when you're underwater?
Yes, but just that all on
I was saying this was the Max, but with the protective lenses on it.
Oh, okay.
It seems to do okay if you just dump it quickly, but there it is already filling up with some water down there. I can see that.
Got it.
Whoa, whoa, don't fall. Whoa! 1, 2.